Thank you very much for coming out to today's Goodwill Youth event, where we have job seekers between the ages of 16 to 24 coming in looking for jobs, interviewing with Nordstrom's, learning soft skills from Starbucks, and also getting some great interview tips from Chipotle. This is a great event. Last year we had over 507 students and talent coming through. This year we're hoping for more. Thanks again.
Chipotle is a very unique company to work for. We really focus on three things: people, food, business. Most important part is the people. We do believe that we're better coaches when we have better players. So we try to hire the very best talent. Way we're able to identify that talent is we look for specifically 13 characteristics. These characteristics are characteristics that we believe you come to Chipotle with. They're not characteristics that we typically have managers trained to teach. For example, my general managers who are in the business of selling food don't know how to teach somebody to be honest. Or maybe they do, but that's not what they're really there for. So these are the 13 characteristics that we are specifically looking for when we do an interview. Idea is that anybody who comes to an interview that possesses all 13 of those characteristics will have a job working at Chipotle. It's that simple. So take a gander at those and kind of ask yourself, do you think that you have those characteristics? Some of them are not going to be obviously identifiable, right? Not everybody is super over the top, you know. Yes?
Last question. So if that someone has all those 13 but has a criminal background, do you guys hire?
Yes, we do. We do not do criminal background checks. All we're going to do is look at the person in front of us and assess if they have those 13 characteristics. If you do, you have a job. It's that simple. All right? So again, I said we're looking for a special people culture, and that is a whole team that has all 13 characteristics. If we do that, we're going to have a really great restaurant that provides a really great guest experience. That's our job. That's what we're there to do every single day. It's not just make burritos, bowls, tacos, and salads. It's to deliver an excellent guest experience. So I'm going to show you a 7-minute video that really goes into what we have. 65,000 employees that work at Chipotle. Currently, we're opening a Chipotle every 2 days. One Chipotle every 2 days. We have 2,400 restaurants at this time. We promote 90% from within. So what that means is when you're hired as a crew member, you have this fast track process where if you're dedicated and devoted to growing with the company, you have the opportunity to become management. Both Ivan and I both started just like you guys, out looking for a job. I was a barber in my previous lifestyle, decided that I needed more money than I was getting. T-Mobile and them guys was calling me, they wanted their money, so I had to find another job. I applied in Bellevue Crossroads for Chipotle as a crew member. I got hired. Within 1 year, I was opening my own restaurant in Linwood, Washington, in the Alderwood Mall. I opened that restaurant, and 4 months later, I was promoted to what we call restaurateur. Restaurateur is somebody who is like deemed to be an elite general manager who's hired the really best people and trained them really well and promoted a lot of managers. So 5 of my members of my team at that time became general managers of their own restaurants, and 2 of them also became restaurateurs. And based off of that, I was given the opportunity to become an area manager, where I had 5 restaurants in the Seattle area. Shortly thereafter, like 3 months later, I have 10 restaurants in the Seattle area. Ivan, how long have you worked for Chipotle?
9.5 years.
9.5 years. He's like a seasoned veteran. You should see his burritos. Crazy. He started at Crew 2, and where at?
The Ave.
The Ave by the UW. one of the busiest restaurants we have over there. And now he has 8, 9 restaurants of his own. So I said all that to say that there's a lot of opportunities that are available to you guys. We are looking for ambitious, motivated, inspiring young talent who wants to get with a company who stands behind great principles and move up. We currently are in the process where, kind of for the first time ever, we're searching outside of Chipotle for management positions because we're growing so fast that we cannot even develop managers fast enough to fill those positions, which is great for you guys, right? So can any of you guys tell me or remember what some of the 13 characteristics are?
Smart.
Smart, that's a good one. That is a really good one. Happy, yep.
Honesty.
Honesty, bang. Ambitious, that's what I'm talking about. Motivated, yep. Enthusiastic, great.
Talented.
That is one. That's not one of the characteristics, but we surely need it. We certainly need it. I see you wanting to raise your hand. Any other ones? Curious, great. Some of these characteristics, like I said before, are not characteristics that you readily identify, right? These are characteristics that you kind of have to dig into some of them, right? How do I, for example, identify if you're honest and I've only met you for like 10 minutes? How do I know if you truly are honest or not? Well, there's a few things that we kind of look for. I'm giving you guys the answer to the test because if you guys are interested in potentially working with Chipotle, if you have these 13 characteristics and you know what we're looking for, you might even know the questions we're going to ask. I'm telling you that if the general manager thinks that you have all 13 of them, you have 100% chance of getting the job. There's a 100% chance you get the job if you have those 13 characteristics. So when I said honest, are you truthful, open, sincere, genuine? So when you think about that, what kind of questions can I ask about? You know, tell me about a time when you had a really struggling opportunity and how'd you overcome it? Tell me about a time you had a difficult teacher. Like, how did you deal with that? If you tell me, oh, I've never had any problems before, I'm great, man, everybody loves me, I get along with everyone. Well, I'd probably think you're not being honest. Does that make sense? What about smart? That's a hard one to identify too. If you don't have like a master's degree, does that mean you're not smart? Right? There's so many other ways that we could identify. Are you bright, well-spoken, sensible? Kind of questions do we asking? Did they answer all the questions when we asked them? Did we kind of ramble on and not talk about things that are related to the question? So on and so forth. So, happy. Why do you think that's the #1 characteristic?
Because you're working with customers and if you're happy, they're most likely going to be happy.
That's great. That is absolutely the answer. You could be the most motivated, ambitious, respectful, honest, curious person in the world, right? But if I walk up to you and I say, how are you today? And you go, fine. What you want? White or brown rice? Black or pinto? You know the spiel. You guys all ate there before, right? You guys all ate there before. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee you, for those of you that have visited Chipotle more than once, you've had there's a sliding scale on the guest experience that you had. Sometimes you go there and the person's like, good afternoon, thank you for coming to it. What can I get started for you? And they're all happy. The other person's like, they probably don't work with us no more. But you get what I'm saying. It's more important to us that we hire really good people that have these 13 characteristics and we train them really well than it is for us to have really awesome food. And we got some pretty good food. It doesn't matter how good your food is, people are not going to return if the guest experience is not great. Would you agree to that? What's your favorite place to eat? Don't say Chipotle, you know, just because we're here. Okay, why? It's homey. Like what? Tell me more.
So like, so I just, when I eat at home, I feel at home. So I feel like comfortable. I feel like,
Okay.
oh, I'm getting along with everyone.
Great.
That's why if I'm trying to go out and eat, I want to feel like that when I go out and eat.
Awesome. That's great. We're creating an environment in the restaurant, right? When you come in, the temperature's right, the music's right. I don't know if you guys pay attention. We have our own Chipotle radio station. It plays the same songs looping all day long. We hear it all day. You guys just hear it for 30 minutes. But it's there for a reason. The materials that we use in the dining room is for a reason. It's creating an environment that sets the stage. The idea is that if you create an environment, you start to be creating an experience for somebody who comes there. A vending machine has customers. You put in money, you pick something, it kicks it out. There's no emotion or relationship between a vending machine and you. But there is with people. So we believe that if we hired people who all had these characteristics, then with the music and the temperature and the ambience of the restaurant, them people are going to help us deliver awesome food really quickly and create an excellent guest experience. Does that make sense? Yeah. Awesome. So, what do you think is more important, food or people? People. Oh, you guys are paying attention, huh? All right. So, do you think we should hire somebody that has 11 characteristics, 11 of the 13? Trick question. Why?
Because most people don't have that.
Don't have all 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's important. All of them are important, so you cannot leave one without all.
Good answer. So, in theory, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In theory, we do not want to hire someone who does not have all 13. That person may actually have all 13, but they just haven't been in a position to show that characteristic. And so the idea is that in an interview, asking the right questions, we'd be able to pull it out of you and see it, right? It's really easy to make a snap judgment about somebody. It's really easy. And so we like our interviews to be more of a conversation and more of like an interaction so that we can see it, right? Somebody, for example, who's not super enthusiastic, over the top. But if I ask you, tell me about something that's you're super passionate about, and you begin to talk about your child, or you begin to talk about that music instrument, or your skateboard, whatever it may be that you're super passionate about, and then you start asking the secondary questions like, why is that important to you? What is the thing about that makes you excited? You start to see body language change. You start to see them smile. They start to have hand gestures. Their shoulders all of a sudden relax. You can pull out characteristics by having a conversation. So I'm sharing all of that with you because I don't want you to think that if you went to an interview and didn't get the job that this means you don't have the characteristics. It very much so could mean that maybe the right question wasn't asked, right? Maybe you weren't in a position where you got to show that in that moment. And so what I would like for you guys to take from this is that Chipotle is not the only employer who looks for similar characteristics, right? I would like for you guys to take from this today and know that most employers are going to be looking for that, and for you guys to strategize, how can I present myself at an interview so that they can see all of these characteristics? Any questions you guys have for me?
Okay, when I go to Chipotle,
Mhm.
I only see the front as the other people in the kitchen are helping.
Oh, yeah. They're helping. So the awesome thing about Chipotle is that we stand behind food with integrity. We source the very best ingredients, and we do that with respect with the lands, the farmers, and the people. We are super, super anal about not only where we get our food, but how we prep, cook, and serve our food. There's no dicing machines back there. There's no lettuce cutting machines. There's no, we throw jalapenos in there and it cuts it all up. Those are people. Every single day we cut, slice, dice everything by hand fresh, every single morning. So when you come to a Chipotle and you see 6, 7 people in the front smiling, and there's people in the back of the house that's actually preparing all of that food that they're putting on your meal. Yeah.
So, if you apply and you get the job, are you like automatically in a certain position, or do you like work in any kind of field?
Great question. So that is going to be a decision that you and that general manager choose. If they're sitting there with you and they're interviewing and they think that you have the most greatest smile and personality, they're probably going to want to put you on tortilla greeting the guest as they come in. You know, if you're a big old buff guy and you have knife skills, they're probably going to put you back there cutting cases and cases of lettuce and stuff. It all just depends really on the conversation you have, the meet and greet that you guys have. You might decide that you're not comfortable yet touching the knife. That's fine too. So there's not one position that we only hire for. It would be up to you. Any other questions? So we hire anyone above 16. 16 years old, you qualify. We have part-time and full-time positions available. All of the restaurants in the area are hiring. If you went to a restaurant and, for example, that restaurant just happens to be overstaffed, which doesn't really typically happen, and they do an interview with you and they identify the 13 characteristics, they're calling me, I'm calling Ivan. We got somebody that's great and we don't have a position available to them right now, but we don't want to lose this person. We're going to refer you to the next Chipotle right down the street, and we're going to get you in there. Any other questions? No? So on the third floor, we have 2 general managers up there right now. They're passing out material about tuition reimbursement. All employees are eligible for tuition reimbursement. We also have what we call the Guild program, where you could take college level classes at 10% of the tuition. As long as you're with Chipotle, we offer medical, dental, vision to all crew members. What else? Free meals every day. That would be great, right? What? That's the best part. Paid breaks. Paid breaks. I wasn't always like this, you guys. This happens when you eat chicken burritos all the time. Lots and lots and lots of benefits available to our team members. So please check in on third floor, table 39. They got resources and information up there. They have a bunch of like lanyards and stuff like that for you.
So I'm not a high schooler, you guys can see me. So I'm a career coach, actually work for Seattle.
Great.
I work with 18 to 24 youths that came from foster care.
Okay.
So, and also I work on northern side of Seattle. So,
Well, I can get you my business card, and then probably.
Yeah.
Talk about
Yeah, awesome. And then also on the second floor, we have a couple general managers up there right now doing interviews. So if you guys are ready for an interview, and you have those things, I said there's a 100% chance you could get a job. So,
You don't have a resume, there's also a resume workshop too.
you don't need to have a master chef. You don't got to have a degree in slicing and dicing. We'd rather teach you Chipotle's way than like undo a master chef. some training. So don't worry if you'd never worked with food before. I hadn't either. Had no previous food working experience. All right? Thank you guys so much for coming. And just so you know, if you guys, it is also something mandatory that if you work at Chipotle, you have to have a food handler's card within 14 days of your employment. There's a great program upstairs with YMCA and a gentleman's name, Aaron. If you need help with that, he can help you out with it. There might even be resources available to you if you qualify for his program where he could pay for it. So check in with them upstairs on the 3rd floor as well, all right? Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you guys.